I want to talk about Gilbert Arenas. Now, Gilbert Arenas is becoming one of the most at the number one top of my list right now is Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm gonna be reading that super chat shortly, Chike. Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson is quite possibly, in my opinion, he's at the very top of my list as one of the most entertaining voices. I think that he's a great content creator. I also think that he's off on a lot of things. There are some things that I do agree with him about. But as a content creator, as a person, as a voice that's on the internet that is giving us content to react to, I think that Dr. Umar Johnson, put some respect on the doctor's name, is one of the most entertaining people out here in these streets. Gilbert Arenas is very much climbing up that ladder. He's climbing up that ladder. And Gilbert Arenas had an opportunity to go on Patrick Beverley's podcast, which people sent to me. And he was talking specifically about the money and how it affects and how these women get these dudes set up and how it is that these guys are not mature enough in order to really be able to handle the type of resources and money that comes along with. Shout out to my dog, PLGQ Apparel. People love good quality. If y'all want to go out and get this hat, if you want to go out and get the bear shirt that I ever have, I do not make a dime from it. I just support my people that are bag chasers. If you want the people love good quality hat, I got another one up here right here. It's right here. Sometimes I wear the Billanico. Billanico is a completely different brand. Sometimes I wear people love good quality. If you love they stuff, sometimes I even might switch it up when I'm really feeling spicy. But if y'all want to continue to support y'all fellow bag chasers because they do have great products, I wear it because I like it, not because it's, they just a bag chaser. Make sure y'all support people love good quality. Let me go ahead and deep dive into this because Gilbert Arenas had some interesting takes about money. And this is the Millionaire Morning Show and it always comes back down to the money. But he has some very, very interesting takes about how these dudes are moving when it comes to their finances, resources, and then getting into the NBA and getting that, as Ali Music says, that shmoney. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. And then turn on your notifications. Let's get it popping, y'all. I'm gonna fast forward it to a little bit so I can try to find out. Y'all gave me some timestamps. Said 11 minutes. Is it 11 minutes? Let's start there.
You got to worry about no expense, especially when it comes to housing, food, and all that stuff.
Well, you have a lot of motherfuckers want to play for you. I tell you that.
See, there you go. Right, everybody going to be getting drafted there. You know what I mean? And that's real. Like, this is some real shit. Besides Dallas, the first team I got food from as a road team, Cleveland with LeBron.
Y'all didn't get food?
No. Oh, there was no food. We had the Gatorade bars. I'm 2001, bro. The Gatorade bars is all we got on the road, right?
Get them shits at halftime.
Yeah. LeBron James, I remember coming in. Boom, came in, right? Lost. Nigga. Ooh-wee, what's this? Right? Spread. I'm like, oh, coach, what? Damn, thank y'all. It's like, this ain't from us, this from over there. And I'm looking at, straight man, straight everything. And I'm like, this
reading super chats shortly, y'all. Thank you for the super chats.
What they own? And I'm thinking like, what are they eating over there? If this is what we got, what they eating over there? Man, when we went back home, I went to the owner and said, hey, man, listen. They giving food for the road. Can we get a chef here? A chef?
So on one end, right, it's funny because a lot of people look at these athletes and stuff like this like big babies, right? They say that, listen, y'all making all of this money, y'all millionaires. I think let me look this up really quickly. Somebody look it up in the chat. What the minimum amount, actually the last person on the NBA bench, the minimum amount that an NBA player makes for a 1-year contract. Somebody look up in the chat and tell me what the minimum amount that they make for an NBA contract is. Because on one hand, a lot of people will say, well, you guys are millionaires or you make a lot of money. You shouldn't be able to be babysat. You shouldn't be babysat like that where they need to hire personal chefs and get food for y'all and all of this other type of stuff. Where's the personal responsibility? The other end of the spectrum is it's a recruiting tool and it's a marketing tool and it's a way for them to continue to empower what their product is because the culture is different there, right? We hear about culture on a regular basis. And I want you guys to also, I want you guys to also understand that this can apply to everywhere. I'll give you an example, right? One of the things that incentivized a lot of people to even get into web development, you know what it was? Google. You know why they was incentivized to get into web development or become software engineers or anything like that? Because of what was happening over at the Google campus. Y'all said it's about $1 million. So the low end 1-year contract, minimum NBA contract is $1 million today. $1 million, right? Think about this for a second, y'all. 953,000, right? If it's 953,000, let's just round it up to $1 million, right? So the lowest end via Google, according to y'all, saying it's about $1 million, okay? The minimum NBA player makes $1 million. 1 year, $1 million, okay? A lot of what people were recruited by wasn't necessarily the fact that Google and Facebook and all of those tech companies out there in Silicon Valley when they first started blowing up, it wasn't the fact of the salary. The salary was cool, but a lot of the ways in which they were able to recruit people was the culture. And that's what people don't understand when they're listening to Gilbert Arenas. It's the culture, the cultural norms that then can justify or help for them to be able to recruit or put people in a better position to then focus on the things that mean the most to them. If you don't have to worry about this, if you don't have to worry about that, if you don't have to worry about this, if everything is taken care of, the first time that I had ever heard about what the fuck was going over there in Mountain View, California and Silicon Valley, I said, wait a minute, they get free food every day? I had forgot the fact that they was making back then, starting at over $150,000. Back then, they was starting at like over $150,000. I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, you can practically live on campus, you get free food every day? They got dry cleaning? And then they start showing the swings and they start showing a little, I was like, hey, that looked like the place where we need to be over there. Then my sense kicked in. Then we did the tour. Then I started evaluating, uprooting my family and what was the best move for that and all of that other type of stuff. And so we wind up doing it a little bit differently. But what I'm saying is when you have a different culture, right, a lot of people don't just look at money. They look at the culture by which you subjected yourself to, which is one of the reasons why they can even convince some of these guys to take lower money in order to win a championship. It's the culture. That's what he's talking about right now.
Breakfast, lunch, something.
Hey, that's why the older ex-players be so fucking mad at the current players because all the shit that they ain't get that we got. But shout out, yeah. Y'all paid the way though, G. Y'all paid the way though. Y'all paid the way though, man. Y'all
did you know that I believe the Detroit Pistons was the first team back in the late 80s, early 90s. The Detroit Pistons, it was called Round Ball 1. The Detroit Pistons was the first team to have their own plane. Back then, everybody used to have to ride commercial. Back then, everybody was riding commercial. Now, it's just standard for every team because they had to compete against other teams for you to have your own plane. Bill Davison, who was a billionaire, was the first owner in the NBA to then put his own team on their own plane because it allowed for them to be able to deplane faster, be prepared for the game, have a better cultural norm, all of that other type of stuff. Now it's normal. Now I'll do you even better. If you get a certain seat inside of the arena, if you can get a certain seat and you pay a certain type of money inside of the arena on a game, on an away game, they will give you tickets and they will allow you to fly with the team on the plane. A lot of y'all not even familiar with that. That's the culture.
Credit.
You know what? It's players, man. It ain't team, man. Listen, when you're, I guess when you're an owner, you don't have common sense ain't common, right?
Right.
When you got that kind of money, the simple, they don't think simple anymore, right? I gave you $85 million. What you need a chef for?
Facts. That's true.
Because I'm 19. I'm gonna eat McDonald's. I don't know nothing else. My girl don't know how to cook. She just got.
So he's saying that it's not just the money, right? You also got to remember that you're dealing with people that are still having their brains developed. Their brains not even fully developed. They look like a man. They tall like a man. They can dribble like a man. They may not have the. I think LeBron James was a whole man when he was 13. That motherfucker looked old as hell. However, they don't have the mental capacity to be able to really understand what it is that they've just walked themselves into, which is also another reason why a lot of these guys wind up going broke after they leave the league.
Out of college with me. What you think? Where you think I'm gonna go? McDonald's, and then I'm gonna go to the mall, right? Mall, I'm going mall, parking lot, pimp, go to the mall, see, that's what that age does. So you have to figure out how to build a gate around those kids and until they get old enough to really understand what being a pro is.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't know how to be,
which was also supposed to be one of the reasons why you had college. College was supposed to be the transition between you living with your parents to getting a little bit of freedom of living on your own with a little bit of adult supervision. And then you were able to make the transition into being in the league because now you have the mental capacity, the skills, the understanding. You've made some mistakes on campus, right? You failed in a controlled environment. But now we're in a space where we basically saying people should be able to do whatever it is that we want to do. But you forget that these people are literally kids coming from the hood, running into a bunch of money, and money don't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are.
If you don't know how to, or you ain't been around older dudes to learn how to move, you're just going to be moving how your friends are moving.
Which is why, and it's even worse now that you got social media, because now you have no filter, no handlers to run by, and you can basically say and do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it.
All right, we're going to go to the mall. We're going to spend 4-5 hours at the mall. 4-5. Come on, think about it. Some of the young boys, they be at the mall all damn day.
Oh, still.
And I think that I think that you're even seeing some of that with the young players today. And whether you want to talk about the Zion situation first or the Ja situation first, I think that these are young guys who are kind of getting caught up in the trappings of a lifestyle that just where everything is presented to them, where it's like you can have whatever affiliations you want to have, present whatever lifestyle you want to have, all kinds of clothes and tons of women just being thrown at you at all times.
This is a different era, right? This is a different era. You got media. You got media now where everyone has their own voice. Back when you know what I mean? You just can't go on your page and blurt out stuff. It'd be like on a little blog site, you get that removed easy. Or you'll have one of your, people inside the organization reach out. You know what I mean? There was, protocols. It was a lot easier versus someone just getting mad at the moment and then tweet.
We just really started finding out how bad the cocaine habit was when we seen Jordan's Last Dance documentary, and Jordan still kind of tiptoed around that. Them dudes in the 80s was absolutely out of their mind. They were living like rock stars, and they didn't even have the type of money that a lot of these guys got now. Them dudes in the 80s was living egregiously. They was doing cocaine at night, cocaine in the morning, allegedly, and then hitting the basketball court and putting up jump shots. Can you imagine what we didn't even find out Magic Johnson allegedly was out here in these streets until he came and made an announcement that he had the back then it wasn't. I was about to tell a joke. Let me stop. It's Magic Johnson we talking about. I don't even know if he still got AIDS anymore or HIV until you had the hive. We didn't even, we was like, Magic Johnson got the hive? Magic Johnson is over there doing things on Cookie? Magic Johnson I don't even think he got the hive no more. Could you imagine if social media existed then? Now you have kids that are younger, faster, stronger, dumber, raised by more single mothers from the hood, And it's even worse now because now they have technology at their fingertips to be able to say and do whatever it is they want to do, including don't even have to walk up to a girl or don't even have to wait till a girl is appearing at his hotel room in the lobby. Now he could just send her a DM and say, I want to take care of you for the rest of your life. How much is it going to cost me? It's wild, man.
Right. So with Zion, it's just the circumstances of the era he's in and not having a real foundational team around him. You could have never got this off on like a LeBron or, KD, Booker. I mean, any of the, like, your name is too big to have these little.
I don't know. We found KD's burner account.
That would have been an easy little check. Hey, sorry, baby. I done fucked up. My bad. Go ahead. Right.
You see radio blip mode? Look at this. Hold on. Let me read this. Radio blip mode said, AntiMagic's your homeboy. Magic's son is your homeboy. If I'm cool with Magic, you cool with his son. Man, y'all better leave me the fuck alone on my own show. Real talk. Magic's son is your homeboy, nigga.
Right. Just let it go. My bad, When it comes to Ja.
Yeah, I want to ask about Ja because obviously
I want to fast forward it really quickly. I want to go over this. There we go.
Our generation, our generation is like right in front of yours, right? It won't be us. It's that 90s crew.
Right. So it's Charles now.
It's that group because I'm on a 5-year 111.
So yeah, you ain't way off. Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So 5-year 111. My next deal would have been 185.
You hear these numbers? You hear these numbers? They saying it like it's like they talking about $111. My other deal was 5 years, 111. Nigga, that's $111 million back in the 2000s. And this shows you what inflation does because now Zion, right off the rookie deal, got 5 years, 194. Yo, by the time that LeBron and them leave, bro, they gonna be making 50 and 60 mil. Steph is gonna be getting 50 and 60 million dollars a year. A year. I'm telling you, I'm just waiting to see what's gonna be the first player to get $1 billion deal, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, even though that's the deal, now my next deal would have been 185, 2013, 14.
Right.
Because my max deal, I signed 111, but my max was 126.
Right. So you get Supermax. Huh?
Yeah. So what ends up happening?
You know what's so funny? These dudes still be out here dusty. Maybe not Gil per se, but these dudes still be out here dusty as hell. Antoine Walker broke. Go watch that ESPN 30 for 30 broke, Doc.
It's now, like, when I tell people, I was like, all right,
you're right.
250 is
I'm gonna read that shortly.
Then 135 would be like mid-level, right? That's like the halfway point. That's like, in my era, that's a dude making, anywhere from 8 to 12. So when they be like, man, he got 200, he got 180 million. In our era, that's 90 million, right? Everything's double, right? Everything's double. It's 90 million. Then they be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
No, it still don't make sense for the normal person because they just can't imagine somebody getting a $90 million contract, let alone getting a $60 million per year contract. $200 and $300 and $400 million, making $500 million or $750 million by the end of their deal when niggas still be out here dusty, broke, trying to impress other people. Man. And so, but one of the things that's very interesting is Gil is talking about, without even talking about, he's talking about inflation. He's talking about the fact that what it is that you valued 15 years ago, 20 years ago is literally double now. Pat Bev looked crazy right there on that screen, on that pause. But what y'all talked about, and it's the same thing when it comes to when we were having this conversation, and a year ago when I said, yo, $40,000 ain't no money. You can't raise no family of four on $40,000. People was telling me, well, 25, 30 years ago, they was raising kids on 40. Man, back in the late 80s, I seen a paycheck that was over $100,000 from somebody that worked. They was making in the late 80s, early 90s, there was some people that was making $100,000 and they was just working. They was working crazy overtime and all of that shit. Y'all comparing to what y'all parents did with $40,000 in the 80s to $40,000 in 2023. It's not the same. I know probably at least 100 people that make $100,000 a piece. I know 100 people that make $100,000 a piece. And they be like, man, that ain't enough. I can't do it. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to retire. I showed the people in the Patreon $100,000 in a month. I showed them, if y'all don't want to see it, it's right there in the Patreon. I pull up my back end. I show my numbers. I showed the people in the Patreon how much I did over a 2-month period just off of generating revenue from AdSense, just from 2 channels. AdSense, from sponsorships, all of that other type of stuff. I showed them the numbers that we was doing, that it was over 1.1 million and all of this other stuff. They like, what the fuck? That's crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. And this is why y'all need to go and watch the video that's in the Patreon today. I still be like, damn, this ain't enough money. I be looking around like, shit, we got to be more aggressive with our investments. We got to pour more money into this. We got to do more of that. We got to go and make sure, we got to run it up even more. We got to build more houses. We got to get more rental properties. We need to be more aggressive in our investments. I told my daughter and my wife the other day, I said, listen, we're going to have to go ahead and start peeling back so we can be a lot more aggressive in our investments. I showed my daughter what my monthly budget was. Hold on. You remember what my budget was, my monthly budget was, that you seen the other day you was surprised by?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember. I feel like it was like 72 something. I don't know.
72 what?
1,000, I'm pretty sure.
All right, thanks, babe. How late did you stay up?
Pretty late.
Yeah, I figured that. All right, see you, baby.
All right.
That was what my budget was for that month. Literally, this was just 2 weeks ago. I said, yo, my daughter was walking by and I was on the phone with my accountant and we was going over some numbers and all of that other type of stuff. And she looked and she's like, what's that? I said, oh, that's my budget. I said, that's my budget. She said, for the year? I said, no, that's for the month. That's for the month. For the month. $72,000 for that particular month. I'm telling you, it's different. No matter where you are, no matter what bracket you in, no matter what it is that you got going on, everybody be looking like, damn, this ain't enough. No matter how much money you make, you can make $1 million a month. You can make $1 million a month. And you be like, damn, this don't even make sense. This don't even make sense.
Right.
I mean, it ain't the money. It's the stats, right? Like, man, when I averaged 20 in this, I got 90 million. Same. He got 180. This is just double, bro.
Right.
And I think when you break it down, instead of using the money, just use your numbers. Like when JJ had 1 year, 23 million. Everybody like, what the fuck was that? Money's getting bigger, man. Money's getting bigger. That's like 12 million back then. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Right.
I remember when I was growing up, I used to think to myself, man, if I like when you was a little kid, $1 million? It was grown folks like, damn, $1 million? Man, I could blow $1 million in 3 weeks. I could literally blow $1 million in 3 weeks. And I would not quit my job. I will not quit my businesses. I'm not going to retire. I can blow $1 million in 3 weeks without even blinking. Connie, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear that. Connie, 48, 46, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear that shit. We making a point over here. All right? My whole life is an open book. This is what we do. We pull the receipts. I don't give a fuck if she was asleep. It is what it is. My point is that we need to start normalizing becoming more successful and then trying to understand how it is that we can start to make better decisions financially so that we can then have that exit strategy. Because money ain't the same as it was yesteryear. This is the Millionaire Morning Show. We get into the mud over here. We get straight into the mud over here. Fuck around and find out if you want to out here in these streets.